Jeff and Shalia started a cult called the Twin Flame Universe, and they was actually able to manipulate women into changing their gender from female to male, and even getting them to commit to long-term relationships with the same gender. Jeff and Sheila was able to convince the beliefs of many women to manipulate them out of millions of dollars through brainwashing them. They done this by promoting the concept of twin flames and encouraging them to pursue them at all costs. And it makes you wonder, if a nobody could convince people into changing their gender, changing their sex preference, imagine what people in power could do. Who's influencing your thoughts and perceptions of reality? It takes a powerful mind and a willing heart to really transcend the mind and create and shift into the reality that you want. Now, by the end of this video, you're really going to truly understand how to connect to the different aspects of yourself so that you can actually create the reality that you want. I'm going to share with you how to speak to yourself to shift into a new reality. Now, if we look at our entire universe right now, everything is moving. If we go down to the energetic level, everything is moving, everything is vibrating, everything's frequency, everything is sound and music, and we have to understand that everything's always in action, in infinite action. Nothing ever stops, nothing ever starts, it's just going. Nothing can be destroyed or created, it's either changed or transmuted. So we have to understand that everything that we do from this point forward, the present moment, is going to create certain actions and lead to certain consequences or benefits. And so if we take an action today to focus on something that's going to lead down the path of our goals, we're going to make progress towards that. If we go away from our goals and do actions that lead away from our goals, it's going to create challenges and problems that take us away from our goals. And I know that might sound simplistic, but many people are doing things that don't lead to their goals. And oftentimes that's because they have certain character traits that prevent them from overcoming procrastination or overwhelm or shiny object syndrome or being able to consistently take action over time, maybe even addicted to dopamine. And so this can prevent us from achieving our goals. And that's a big problem when you really think about it, because people want to succeed at something, but yet they have these cognitive biases and they have these habits, they have negative influences, they have old subconscious patterns that prevent them from achieving what they want. So whilst on one side, they want this success, they want to create better relationships with their partner, they want to make more money, they want to improve their health, they want to be more consistent, they want to feel more powerful. There's another part of them that is actually preventing them from moving forward, because this is the past memory or the data that is stored inside them, preventing them from moving forward, which is why it's so important to undo before you do. It's important to antivirus before you move forward. It's important to deprogram before you program. We only create in life our default self. Our default self automatically creates the reality that we have or want. If we change our default, we'll create a new default reality. Tony Robbins actually talks about this, but in a different way. He talks about having certain standards. We don't go below our standards. So if your standard is to make 10K a month, you're going to consistently make 10K per month. And if you ever go below 10K per month, your nervous system is going to go into flight a little bit. You're going to get a little bit scared and you're like, man, I'm making less than 10K. And you're going to be taking action through fear in order to get back to that 10K, because that's where your standards are. Many people have created standards inside the subconscious mind that they are a billionaire. For example, if we look at Donald Trump, he actually made billions of dollars and then he lost it all and then he gained back $1 billion again, because that's his standard. He can't help but be at that level. So what if you couldn't help but be more healthy? What if you couldn't help but take more action? What if you couldn't help but be more loving? What if you couldn't help but, I don't know, go to the gym and exercise, right? Now, what I'm about to say next might scare a lot of people and it might jolt the ego a little bit. So please be well aware that this might be the most powerful thing you would ever hear in terms of creating your reality, but there's a part of you that's going to be afraid, or I guess resist what I'm going to say. And that is your capacity to be okay and not ashamed of wearing masks is what prevents most people from having success. So what I mean by that is sometimes we have to create a character, step into that character and embody that character in order to create the reality that we want. Not always, but sometimes. And that might feel a little bit fake or a little bit inauthentic, or you feel a little bit of resistance into stepping into a new character. Some people call it a mask or faking it until you make it. And what we got to realize is that we want to naturally find what's the sweet spot for us and step into this 2.0 version of ourselves in a more natural and congruent way. It's popular nowadays to follow this idea of being authentic and stepping into your authentic self. And I'm someone that really struggled with this, because being authentic and trying to just be your natural self on YouTube, on social media, with people and all this stuff, sometimes is a little bit difficult. And what is this authentic self? What does that actually mean? Because in reality, if you grew up in a different country, in a different culture, in a different upbringing, different parents, different teachers, you would be a completely different person and speak a different language right now and be playing out a totally different character. So who you are, James or Jonathan or Sarah or Leo, whatever your name is, and the character that you're playing out right now is a concoction of your past experiences. It's not who you truly are. Who you truly are is the awareness of it all. And stepping into awareness has no judgment on what character is playing out at any given moment. So if you're playing out the character of a highly successful entrepreneur and you're aware that you're playing a character, then there's no judgment. And if there's a judgment, that means you're in your mind and you're allowing your mind to defeat the opportunity to succeed at the goal. Now, there's another way and perception to do this, is just be in awareness and stay in awareness at all times. And this will allow you to move forward with great success. However, when we create these characters and we play out these characters, it leads to success quicker oftentimes. And sometimes we can get to success really fast just by being in awareness too. For example, someone like Eckhart Tolle, he is very present, very tapped into spiritual awareness, and he's just naturally allowing the energies to flow through him, and he's become highly successful. Where there's other people who have created a character, someone like Tony Robbins, who's strong, masculine, does incantations and changing your state, and this is how he's created $1 billion empire. So we got to understand that there's two ways of doing things, and you can choose how you want to go about it. Maybe it's a bit of both, and that's what I tend to do. I have awareness, but also I understand that once I step into a character or an identity and I embody it, it becomes neutral and natural anyway, and then I'm in awareness of that character anyway, and it doesn't matter anyway. I remember when I didn't like following schedules. I literally struggled with following schedules. It felt monotonous and like I was being controlled, and then I stepped into the character of being okay with following schedules, and now I'm able to follow schedules, and it's actually led to more success because my day is more organized. So the brain works on confirmation, and once we get loads of confirmation about something, it becomes a belief. And there are different parts of ourselves inside. What I mean by that is there's literally different people inside you right now, different characters that play out inside you right now. For example, you may notice that you change your energy when you're on the phone to someone specific. There's a character that's playing out. Or you might change when you put yourself on camera, or you might change when you're around a certain person that you like or appreciate. And these are different parts playing out. And sometimes you feel sad, or you feel depressed, or you feel happy. These are all different parts of yourself playing out. And so oftentimes what I see when I'm working with people one-on-one and in group coaching is I see their characters playing out and preventing them from achieving their goals, because sometimes we have the character of procrastination and resistance and I'm not good enough and low self-esteem. These are all characters, and once we step into awareness and realize it's just a character, it kind of gives you back your power, because you're aware of it, you can see it, and you're like, oh, it's just a character, it's just playing out its role right now. And what you can actually do is you can actually speak to the character. You can actually talk to it, comfort it, make it feel good, and motivate it a little bit. You want to be compassionate towards your parts. You don't want to push them and tell them that they're wrong or anything like that. You want to actually be very compassionate and share with them that you're on the same team, you're on the same side, and you want to support them and help them get to the ideal goal that you're after. Let's say, for example, you have this procrastination part. Say, hey, procrastination, you feel it wherever you feel it in your body. Why are you feeling like procrastinating? Why do you feel like not doing this right now? What's going on? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? Oh, I feel like it's heavy, or it's too much, or I feel like I'm being controlled or manipulated. You're manipulating me, or you're forcing me to do something. Okay, great. I'm sorry I'm making you feel that way. I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to feel good about taking action. I want you to feel inspired about taking action. I want you to feel motivated about taking action. I want you to feel open and free and alive. So how can we do that together. Can you see where the conversation's going? You keep it going, keeping the dialogue going. And now you're having a positive internal dialogue with yourself. You're loving and honoring the different parts of yourself. And so when you're experiencing negative thoughts, negative emotions that are preventing you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve, then have a conversation with these parts of yourself so that they don't feel like you're forcing them or trying to change them or trying to get rid of them completely. That's the worst thing you could do, is suppress what you're feeling, because one day it's going to explode. This is a part of deprogramming the old self, making the old self feel good about the changes that you are making in your life so that it's not resisting and trying to pull you back to what's comfortable, what's normal, and what's familiar. So what we have to do is continually give confirmation to the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system likes when you are making progress by showing and proving all the little things on the journey of creating the success that you want. For example, you might notice that you're speaking up more, or you went to the gym and you're proving that, hey, your character is changing by affirming to yourself, wow, I did that. I actually made the change and it's making a difference in my behavior. And I can't wait for more. And then you notice the next thing and the next thing and the next thing as you begin to mold this character and have it grow into new realities for you on your behalf. Because eventually, as you begin to confirm that you're making the changes, you're making progress, it's going to become more and more permanent. It's going to become more and more natural, and it's going to become your default, where you don't even realize that you're playing out a character anymore. It's just who you are. And when I say who you are, I'm talking more about the character of the brain or the ego. So as you begin to confirm more and more, your brain is going to naturally filter out more and more of you making progress, more and more of you shifting, more and more of you getting results. Your brain is going to naturally filter out more of these things for you. You know, like when you buy a new car or bag or whatever it is, you start seeing it everywhere because your brain realizes, hey, this is important to you. This is what you value. So I'm going to bring into your awareness more experiences, things, people that align with this value. Eventually, as this becomes your default, it basically becomes your standard, and you don't go below your standards. And so you continually create the ideal reality for yourself. You see, for me, I actually was able to create a lot of big success financially in my life. And what happened is I actually lost it all because I came from the structure of hustle and grind and just get to the goal. But when I got to the goal, I was burnt out, I was fatigued, I was unfulfilled, I was depressed, I had anxiety, I was in a toxic relationship. And so it wasn't holistic success. That's one of the worst things that we can do. And Tony Robbins says, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So just notice now the shame or guilt of wearing a mask or wearing a new character. Because when you change, other people are going to see you change, and you don't like the idea of other people seeing you change and being different and being successful and being happy and being full and being joyful and being fulfilled. People feel ashamed to be that way because in society it's not normal to have that. And we don't get in life what is abnormal, we get in life what is normal. And so the more you confirm with your brain that this is normal for me to have, this is normal for me to succeed, this is my standard, and basically eradicating the shame and guilt around having the life that you want, then you can create it much faster. If you would like to continually learn more about identity shifting and stepping into your ideal self, I have a membership. The link is in the description. Very affordable. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.